Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for coming to Kindness 2022. We've got a big day. It's a little bit different from last year because this year we felt we really have to take on some of the critical issues that are hitting our society and our world. I was on the radio yesterday morning with Andrew Edwards on his religion programme, and he asked me, wasn't compassion a bit airy-fairy and fluffy? So I think this day is about contradicting that message. I believe compassion is what we need to tackle those really tough issues. So we've taken a step up. We're looking at hate crime, Islamophobia, climate justice, climate anxiety, refugees and asylum. We haven't got the whole world in this room, but we can have a really important conversation. So I want to really, from my heart, thank you, everyone who's come and all the speakers especially. We've got a fantastic lineup of activist speakers who've been working away at these tough issues for years. I get distracted by thinking I've got to tell you about the toilets and the fire exits, but the fire exits are fairly obvious, the one there, or out the way that you came in along the corridor, and the assembly point is outside the City Museum. And the toilets, very important, across the foyer and down the stairs, and at the two ends of this, you will see assigned to, ladies and gentlemen. So having said that, kindness and compassion are not fluffy. These problems that we're seeing are all to do with a lack of compassion, aren't they? Yeah. What is hate crime? What is Islamophobia? What is war? It's all about the fact that we separate ourselves from each other. We make divisions between people, rich and poor, black and white, Muslims, Christians, Jews. And this is tearing our world apart. And climate change is making everything worse. So we're up against something something unprecedented, I think. We've also got a panel on the cost of living crisis today, another critical issue. So what Kind of Leeds is about is we want to bring this whole city together with a movement of compassion that is really going to change people's lives. And I think that is already happening. It's happened in the pandemic. And what happened in Leeds around the pandemic with the voluntary community sector and the City Council and other agencies coming together was incredible. But I think we've got to take a step up and build on that to create something much bigger. So I just hope today is going to be a really significant start to that bigger conversation. But let's remember to be kind to each other and kind to ourselves as well. It's really important. So this year, because we wanted to tackle some of those tough issues, we teamed up with Black Lives Matter. And the start of that was on a blockade of London Bridge last year. I heard the amazing Marvina speaking to the crowds, and after her talk, I literally ran after her. She was just diving into a tube station. All I knew it was a majestic Marvina. So I had to do a whole lot of detective work to track her down. And she agreed to come and speak at our KindX event last year and gave an absolutely brilliant talk and an even more brilliant workshop, which you can still see the talk on our website, and I recommend it. So we've been working together over the last couple of months to bring together today some amazing speakers from all of those issues. So Marvina is a phenomenon. She's, I think, one of the most dedicated activists I've ever met, chair of Black Lives Matter Leeds, a founder of Angel of Youth, a wonderful charity that's been working with young people who are up against it. She's also the young people's mental health inequality lead for Forum Central. So she's covering in her work all of the issues that we're tackling today. So I want to just celebrate her. And she's going to be our host for today. Please give a hand for Marvina Newton, majestic Marvina.
I realise I've got like a really special button that I'm meant to be pressing, and I'm going to do it And now you can hear me. Oh my gosh, I feel so cool. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Can we give a round of applause for the amazing David? Oh my gosh. We're here now, right? We're here. My name's Marvina Newton, as you've heard, and David said something about me which is really true. I'm an activist. But I think I'm just an activist because if we don't act when we see inequalities, then we are all part of the problem. So my whole lifestyle is an activist. But I want to do some call and response to make sure, even though it's the quality, not the quantity, and I want to see if I have the right people in the right room at the right time, just to make sure you're. So when I say kinda, you say Leeds. Kinda. Leeds. Kinda. Leeds. When I say kinda, you say Leeds. Oh, I like the energy. Okay, follow the rhythm. So call and response. When I say kinda, you say Leeds. Kinda. Leeds. Kinda. Leeds. When I say kinda, you say Leeds. Kinda. Leeds. Kinda. Leeds. Okay, we're up. In Leeds, one of the things that you fall in love with the city is the lovely people. And I know that sounds cliche and everyone will be like, yeah, there you go, that lovely. But I'm a southerner, I came from London. And I remember coming to Leeds just for a weekend back in the day, young heydays, far, far, far away. And there's something about this city. First of all, they queue for buses, which for a Londoner, that's weird. Because we just gab in and get into that space. People have conversations with each other. People actually do care. So if you see me going around hugging people, smiling, it's just because it's a lead factor. That's what we do here. I'm proud to have two children, Yorkshire lass and lad. Yes, they are proper. They love their cups of teas, which is really weird because they drink more cup of tea than I drink, which I don't understand. I'm a coffee baby. But what I found in the city is we connect. And when I met David, the first thing he said is, I don't know whether you're available, but I want to connect with you and I want to work with you to do something. And I promised, and I said, okay. He might have seen it as, bearing in mind, on that day, I think I just organised a protest that blocked the whole of London Bridge. Where were we? Nearly somewhere in central London, because cost of living is costing, climate change is real, climate anxiety is something we need to do, climate justice is something we need to talk about. And guess what? Today is Black History Month. I've been given a month to be black, so I'll be blackly black this month. I'm black 365 days of the year, but now I've been given a month, I will use it to scream from the top of the roof. But it's also Hate Crime Awareness Week. All of that, you can't talk about one without the other. And it's important that we can bring things into spaces and be able to hold people accountable, but be able to just be kind and see each other. The last time I gave a speech, I was doing an event for, I realized when I come this way, it's louder. Is that better? Okay, sorry. Curtains closed. I realized with the work I do, I bond with people through trauma. That's the truth about being an activist. 99% of the time I speak to someone to lead a campaign or to do anything, it's true pain. It's true something going wrong. It's true something not being right. So for me, I look forward to Kinda Leeds and Kindness Fest because I get to just get people in a space and we talk about some great things that are happening. Some kind people who are doing great things in a really shitty world. And I can't make the word sound any friendlier because it's not nice. But then there are people like you in the room and I'm looking and I'm just smiling. Don't do that, Marvina. This is not going to work for my future. Sorry. You just have to have a sense of humor with me. Is that okay? Thanks. How cool is this? Mama, I made it, you know? That's someone fixed in my mind. There we go. Ooh. Sorry, I am a big kid. I'm a big kid. And this year we decided to celebrate Kindness Exchange on World Mental Health Day because anxiety is real. Depression is real. And being a Nigerian born, saying that is quite powerful for me to say, to own my own mental illness. Because you can say all the lovely things about me, but the things that people would not add with me is depression, anxiety, ADHD, on the spectrum of autism, dyslexic, dyspraxic, dyscalculus. Yeah, I've got all the trifectas of intersectionality of things. So when you see me, I am standing here during Black History Month to highlight the voices of those who are marginalized and disadvantaged. And I know in the past I hated using the word disadvantage because I'm like, we empowered. But disadvantage is not a bad word. Disadvantage is what society has made us have to deal with. Disadvantage is me feeling like my voice cannot be heard because it doesn't look a certain way, sound a certain way. Marginalized because, again, the intersectionality of what makes me me also creates a lot of different layers. I love talking about intersectionality. I'm going to try and engage with it. By the way, I'm going to engage with you guys. Yes, it's happening. So if you're shy, I apologize for causing you anxiety right now. But I would like to kind of get to know the people in the space. So, how many people know what intersectionality means? Anyone? Anyone? I can see you nodding your head. Okay, fine. Intersectionality? Should I just go, keep moving? Anyone wants to put their hand? Okay. Go ahead. Yeah? You smashed it. So when you see Marvina Newton, I am a woman. I identify as a woman. But I'm not just a woman, I'm an African woman. I'm not just an African woman, I'm an African mother. I'm not just an African mother, I'm an African single mother. I'm not just an African single mother, I'm an African single mother who suffers from depression and anxiety. I'm not just an African single mother who suffers from depression and anxiety. Can you see? Each of those identities I just spoken about has a different layer of oppression that comes with it. So when you put me as the woman category, all women go through certain things, they would say. But then the African woman might go through a different kind of oppression. Then if I take it another level, I'm a mother. But if you're a mother, you might go through your struggle. But as a single mother, it's a different kind of kettle of fish. And it just goes on and on. So the aim of the day for us is to raise awareness around mental health inequalities. And the theme today is mental health in an equal world. How fitting. I'm the mental health inequality lead for Forum Central when it comes to minority ethnic children. So I hold a nice little portfolio where I get to go into the room and challenge system leaders. Yes, getting them to look at policies to make sure children and young people's voices from ethnic minorities are heard. Being able to celebrate positive contribution of kindness in the city is something that's going to be important for us. We definitely want to hear your stories. We definitely want you to share things. Things that I also want you to think about, take pictures, tweets, hashtag. Let's see how we can get this message across. And while we're doing all this, I want you to really look at ways that you can also engage with some of the speakers today, whether it's by volunteering, whether that's by you getting involved in their organization, whether that is you just seeing how you can check your privilege. And I know this is a word people don't like hearing, privilege. I'll say it till I go blue in the face. I'm a privileged black woman. I'm a privileged African woman because I'm on this stage. Not every black woman has the opportunity to do what I'm doing here. So while I'm here, I acknowledge I cannot speak for all black women, but I can speak to create space for them to take centerfold. So we all need to check what privilege we have and turn it into power. That being said, we know what the stigma looks like. We know that we want to say every child matters. Today I really want to make sure a lot of the things I say or do is grounded around empowering marginalized community, children and young people. And when I say Black Lives Matter, it's just a statement. I'm not asking for your opinion. It's just facts. It has to matter. And when we say those words, Black Lives Matter, I need people to understand it's from a place of knowing that we don't matter to the system, to policies. As we said, it's Hate Crime Awareness Week. How many things do we do to raise awareness for hate crime? Hate crime come in different ways, from the microaggressions that we face on a regular basis to people creating policies that actually exclude people, to that what we see with our LGBT plus community, to what we see with our Islamic brothers and sisters, to also what we see with children and young people. Yes, let's make that clear. Ageism is a thing, and it works both ways. The trauma that we now think is a normal way of living is something that we want to be able to debunk. The fact that people still don't want to take more clear actions around what we can do to reform things. Black people are still 4 times likely to be sectioned against the Mental Health Act, black men especially. 10 times likely to be stopped and searched. And with that being said, I want all of us to just take a moment, and I'm dedicating today actually to Chris Carver, because he does deserve us to dedicate a day to him too. Chris Carver was a young man who was killed by the police. He wasn't chased. It was a covert operation. And within 15 seconds of encountering the police, he was dead. So when we say hate crime, and when we say Black Lives Matter, and when we say collective trauma, that's what we are dealing with. But it can only get better with kindness. So with that being said, I've gone through that wave of emotions. How are we feeling? I want us to do a little check-in before we start, and I introduce the next speaker. Let's do a quick emotional check-in and spend 2 minutes, 3 minutes just talking, and this is the task. Based on how you feel, I would like you to check in using a fruit. I know, you're just like, what? A fruit. So, I like this activity because it makes me feel great. I feel like a soursop. Exotic, a soursop. It's a really Caribbean exotic fruit. It has really great medicinal properties, but it's very expensive to get here. So I feel expensive. But how does that feel on my mental health? I feel like I'm exotic. Soursop, when it's ripe, it's a little bit dark green brown, and it's gorgeous, but it tastes amazing. And I feel like today is going to be amazing, and it's something you might not be expecting. It's something that you might not be expecting, but it might be great. And I know he's laughing technical, he's just like, Marvina, we can't help you. Yes, we'll carry on with that joy. And that being said, can you just speak to the person next to you and check in emotionally? What kind of fruits are you feeling like today?